Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on GTA 5 with some more racing. We have got one of the new cars to drive, but first we have a Stinger that hasn't been used for quite a while. I don't know what's going on behind currently. There seems to be a big tidal wave of cars either side. Now, as far as start, well, we've only got very long to go until the start. That's probably not the best. That's not the best way to start a race. So they're going to try. Danger Man's just going to have a car hat for the launch of this one. We've got double-decker racing in GTA 5. Let's go. Definitely 10 out of 10 stars. The other half of the field are in the pit lane going on, but we were watching the car hats. It's honestly, considering the mess, it's not the worst getaway. We have slipstream, we have catch up on. You know, this is for the I'd say for the entertainment. You know, we'll make up the time from prattling around a little bit on the start line. So this circuit is a little bit narrow in places. Got to be careful. It's a bit narrow, a bit bumpy, challenging. Overtaking is, I mean, it's doable, of course, but you're going to have to pick and choose your moments carefully when it comes to getting past. Beware of the curbs. There are some big concrete posts around the place that you can hit and launch your vehicle about the place. There also, you might see a few sort of escape roads. Oh, that's a Ewan almost upside down, running wide through there. Yeah, there's a few escape roads if you're on wide, out of corners and whatnot, that you'll get away with not having a tremendous crash. You'll just hit stop sticks and so on. We're going to be draft down towards the next corner. Oh, God, that's a steep bit of road. There's a hairpin chicane coming up here. Got to remember where we're going. Mind the nasty. That's a tough corner. That's a spectacular corner. Some serious. Not quite a dramatic elevation change as the corkscrew, but still quite the climb right there. Oh, Impegger's fallen off. Don't quite know how. And by the looks of it, what a car missed a checkpoint at the chicane. So you can't be too cheeky with jumping the chicane because, well, you might miss the checkpoint, and that would be a bad time for all. There's a yellow car slid off into the wall. That's going to be. You've made a nice dent in the rear corner of that car. Be careful. This sort of section here is where you've got to be super careful. It's bumpy. You've got like a lot of bits of kind of road marking. You've got curbs. You've got bits of pavement to watch out for. We've all stacked up ever so slightly. Not entirely helped by me. I got into the back of Brazen. Brazen got stuck with Liska sliding, and it was just a little bit of a mess. Oh. Now I've got caught up with another crash. That one I couldn't do a damn thing about. You know, car ahead of you hits something and stops dead. I don't have the time to do it. My car doesn't have the grip to physically steer out of the way of that. Oh, the lampposts. The lampposts to me, I don't know. There might have been a tiny touch from me. If there was, I do apologise. So it doesn't take much for the game physics to decide to have a crash. The Stinger's an old car now. There's a reason why we don't see it as one of the original game cars. It's a cool-looking vehicle, but yeah, it doesn't really get used. Normally, the collision physics are better on the old cars. They don't have the don't have some of the horribleness, basically. But yeah, still, a light brush on a car can force the game to give it a really big crash, because that's always fun. That's what No, it's not what we want, but it's what GTA wants, apparently. Anyway, I digress. We could moan about that. I probably do every video. If you're currently binging through all the GTA 5 races we do, sorry. Just a common occurrence, a common annoyance. Never mind. Back to the racing. Yes, we're fourth. Not the worst position I've ever found myself in a race. We're going to try and outrun Stevie. We should get to the inside here. Now, we saw a lot of cars running wide. It's super easy to do here. You think that's a fast corner. You go to turn in and realise it's really not. You've got to make sure you've got the car slowed down for that part. My hope here, is to not have a big sideways moment on my own. I was about to say, my hope here is that Brazen and Scotty will get stuck side by side. They'll be struggling with no one having any slipstream, no one be able to pass, and a little bit of catch-up will drag me towards them. Unfortunately, it's not quite happened. I had a huge oversteer moment, which was far from clever. Brazen has actually overdriven the second part of the chicane, which helps me out. We're going to use the curbs a little bit. I think we are now actually up to the fight. I'm safe to do so. I've got no cars like slipstreaming behind me that might get caught out by me weaving around from sort of jumping across the curb. For those wondering why we go for the curb, you basically cheese the physics engine of the game. Don't ask, I don't know why, but running across bumps makes the cars ever so slightly faster, which is helpful. And you can use the curbs to make up speed because you can like go from side to side across bumps. You can kind of do it on these bits as well. Just a little bit more risky because they're more raised and they can cause your car to have a spin potentially, especially kind of rear drive high-powered machinery. We're not going to get around the outside. It was a valiant effort, but we ran out of grip for that one. Still going to be slipping and sliding around a little bit through there. Scotty's is braver than me across the concrete. I'm going to have to probably start trying that. I lose the back end again in the tunnel. Clip the wall, although I don't clip the wall as hard as Hyper did. So, you know, that's something up. Scotty turned in a smidge too soon through here, and I'm aggressive across that secondary bit of concrete. We got a good run. Now, this circuit, I'm not sure. It's quite a long lap here, but I'm not sure there's much in terms of slipstream potential to the start-finish line. We'll have to line it up and see what you're going to get with the slipstream. We're a little bit further away from Brazen, which is good. So can we outdraft, can we outdrag Scotty to the finish line if this was the final lap? Scotty's run very, very wide through there. Could we do it? Possibly. Can we get any sneaky little advantage? I mean, that would be a hell of a finish. I don't actually know what way that would have gone. You might be able to do it if you're in the right place. We actually took slightly different lines through that final corner, and I got a good exit and then kind of just ran out of speed. Who knows? We haven't learned anything there, and I've not quite been brave enough. Okay, I've not been quite brave enough, but I don't think I quite want to go all that far out to the wall, if I'm honest. Not at this, I'll say not at this stage. You're running a big risk. I'm going to go around the outside of the green car. We will take the lead away from them. Brazen is coming to join us. It's very much a three-car race at the moment up here. Don't know what's gone on elsewhere. This is a track that if there is a shunt, you can very well get stuck involved in it, especially in a couple of the narrow places. Now, I'm not going to weave too much here owing to cars slipstreaming around. If I weave about trying to get curb boosting, very easy to take out the whole group of cars. 3 wide into the chicane is not going to fit. I'm going to lose that one. Sadly, the position that I was in there, that is not one that we are going to be able to win. Can I? Oh, I tried. We're going to box Brazen in. You might get the position back, though. To the inside of the hairpin we go. Now, we take a very tight line. It makes us slow on the exit, but it won't matter too much. We jump down. Scotty may have got hung out wide. So he's certainly a long way back. Me and Brazen are back side by side again. And I said about a 3-car race. There's now 2 more coming to join us. Don't get oversteer as the circuit transitions. The bump there can throw the cars off, as we see Brazen's quite well demonstrating through there. That'll give me the lead back as we head towards... Now we're heading towards kind of the narrow section of the circuit. We've got to watch out for this. It is pretty nasty. We'll throw the car in with a good amount of speed through there. Now, that's not what I needed. That's going to cost me a heap of time. The thing is, it cost me a lot of time, but it also cost Brazen time. Brazen's now stuck behind me through this section. That's going to lose out to Scotty, that position. Liam's here. Hyper's here. There's a... Oh, God, there's going to be so many cars fighting at the end of this race. Chris is here. I think Ninetales is there in the background as well, going to join this group. We're all going to get clustered up on this final lap. Hopefully, it's not all going to end in tears. Hopefully. Christ, it's about to get very busy as we run through these final few corners. Well, there was one more lap. Yeah, there is one more lap. I'm not going mad. So, we saw last time out... Oh, no, not the sucker. We can't afford to whack the sign. That will murder you. We actually had a good... I think they were so busy side by side with one another, they actually lost a stack of time. If we are on our own, I don't know. Yeah, we could probably do it if we can have a big enough lead. They catch, but the slipstream's not quite powerful enough. We move across to defend. Unfortunately, I can't defend the whole way. And Scotty I was against the wall until the wall vanished, and Scotty had so much momentum I couldn't actually turn my car across to fill that gap because it appeared at the right time. It was a very well-timed run, shall we say, to get through that little gap. We are in a prime position, though, to retake. This is basically a carbon copy of last lap. We're going to do exactly the same move to the outside. The only difference is now, rather than there just being 3 of us up here, if something goes wrong, you get passed by about 7 cars. So, yeah, the slipstream battle down towards this next chicane is, oh god, going to be a bit irrelevant for me as I lose the back end massively through all of that. That's not the first time we've had a big wobble with the car. It's actually been a little bit more spread out behind us now. There might have been a crash. It looks like Brazen's had trouble in the yellow machine, and unfortunately you might now not have time to really get back into the fray. I don't know where I need to brake when I'm at full... Don't know where I need to brake at full chatted in the slipstream going into that chicane, so I was a little bit careful. There's been some more bumping behind. I'll say bumping. There's probably been some overtaking going on in the chicane that has allowed says allowed, has dropped Scotty back. Gliska gets past me. There's no space for me to try anything down there. I'm happy to go back into the draft again. We will try and make something happen this corner, but we don't want to run it in too deep and lose the back end. We saw what happened to Brazen. We've seen what happened to me a number of occasions. Still side by side. They're too wide further back as well for positions 3rd, 4th, 5th and all of that. Signpost just bloody screw us again. It's street furniture. No. The problem with the street, that single signpost has caused me more grief than a lot of even the oversteering moments. It just killed my momentum at the point where I really needed it to not be killed. The draft in this section is quite powerful and is going to pull us around. Got to be very careful now you don't overdrive the car. Into the tunnel we go. Gliska's clear through here. Everyone else behind is also nicely done. I get a really good run, but I'm not going to pass into this chicane. It's too narrow. You've got to be fully alongside if you want to try and make that work. I've actually had a bit of a bad exit there. Now we are still going to be in the draft around here. The cars behind are literally on my bumper. I don't want that. I wanted to be closer to Gliska because you're just trying to get a pass done on this part of road is asking for trouble. We're around the penultimate corner. There is one hairpin to go. I avoid the signpost. Danger Man slid out wide and ran out of grip and ended up in the houses, I think. We are at the final corner now. Come on, Orange Machine. You can do it. Get a draft. I don't know if we're going to have a time. I don't think we will. I think Gliska's got it. I was too far back. Yeah, too far back. Good race. Very good race. Bugger. Night Owls is visiting the movie studio. Yeah, I just wasn't quite close enough. It was... The signpost, kind of before the train line, dropped me back. I overdrove the car on the chicane out of the tunnel, and while I was quick in the final couple of corners, it wasn't enough. The mistakes had already been made. It had already cost me the time, and we could not quite do it. But that was a very good fun race. That was a very good fun race. Unfortunate for Brazen ending up down in 8th place, for having fought at the front for quite some time there. Well, certainly not a bad way to start. So, for the second race, we have the new car. This is the Civic. Basically, the Sugoi. I'm going to call it the Sugo, like the racetrack. It's very wrong. Of course it is. It's my pronunciation of a word. It's going to be wrong. However, yeah, it's basically... In fact, it's a toned-down Civic, if I'm honest. It's unlike GTA to make the toned-down version of the car, but... yeah, it's the new Civic Type R. I have a brief drive of it. Seems quite nice. Should be good for some racing if things don't go horribly wrong. It's going to be touring cars. Oh, I'm going to take the jump. I know I'm going to lose a little bit of time over there, but that just gives us a little bit more width on the circuit. We have been 3 wide for a corner or two now, and the leaders are starting... Oh, now I'm going to go 4 wide. Okay, Team Orange decided the better idea from that was to not keep up the 4 wide. I am going to not make much happen there. Now, much like a lot of front-wheel drive cars in this game, I say actually a lot of front-wheel drive cars, certainly like with the Asbo, it's less of an extent here, but you do get that front-wheel drive oversteer. It feels like the car has very cold rear tyres, and again, it's not, but that's the easiest way to explain it. I'm not carrying crazy speed into the chicane. I actually still did a little bit. But you chuck the car in, and it kind of grips to an extent, and then just lets go. Now, it's not as bad as something like the Brioso, which can get... Oh, the Brioso's all-wheel drive, actually. But that can get quite twitchy. Ignore me, I was thinking it's too much like a Fiat. But yeah, you've got to be a little bit mindful, the rear end moving around. I say sadly, this car's in sports category. Now, I'm not quite sure why. Sure, a Civic Type R is a fast car, but this is not really in the same category with the likes of the Italia GTO and that sort of thing. It would have been more fun if it had... I mean, it might be, you know, half decent fast, but more fun if it had a performance more comparable with the compact class. You know, raced that Brioso and the like, but no, it's a sports car. Oh, we have a Liam up on the side and in the wall a little bit there. We are just going to... Oh, I thought Liam had actually bailed out of that. I had no idea there's still a car alongside me. Oh, someone else pinged off the wall in the background. Now we head towards the chicanes. Relatively calm, relatively controlled first lap. Gliska rate a lamppost, but other than that, nothing too terrible. Leave up the wall, Gliska rate a lamppost. We're eating a few signs down here. I'm on the outside. It's a... I say it's a brave. These are a little bit easier. Some cars could get very, very tetchy over those bumps. I kind of trust this car a little bit more. It does seem to be pretty good over the bumps. As I said, it will let go if you really throw it about, but if you are just a smidge mindful, then It's not too bad, really. We're going to be to the... Ninetales just shot up the inside. There was nobody down there to cover that one. Unfortunately, I think that's another... the tiniest wipe and just Ninetales runs out of steering for that corner. There's a flying car on the inside. I think Impega had to do that. Wasn't sure about the space. It jumped across the tyre bundles. I've got a mega run, but I don't think Chris knew about it. I don't think many people expected that sort of mega run on the outside. There's not going to be a gap anywhere through there. It's better just to wait some time. I mean, we are all going to get stacked up in this group. It's going to be a big slipstream duel down this next straight. My turn to get some airtime. Will not be long before Ninetales is back in this group here. Chris is going to, of course, lose out. Catch up, the slipstream will work in our favour. I'm going to have a big run, but I've got to get it stopped in time, which we do. The problem is we get stopped in time, but on a very, very wonky line, and that kills all of my speed on the exit, and also killed all of Liam's speed, because that's where my car ended up. Impega with a big run now to the inside at the hairpin. You can get a really nice run on the exit on the outside. You can get a lovely swoop down the course, which we're going to go for here, but there's not much space for this to work. It's still going to be 3 wide. Watch out for the concrete barrier. We're all given just enough space. This is way too many Civics in one place. Something is going to have to give. There is no doubt about it. In the end, we got hung out to dry a little bit on the outside, and I was kind of not too... I'm not too unhappy. I'll let them go for that. I'm not going to just like drag my car back in to that particular moment of madness. We'll get another chance. We've still got a couple of laps. Final lap, I might try to cut it back more in, but yeah, at the moment, no real need. They are side by side in the narrow chicane up here. Now, that is good news for us back here. We see that they're slowing each other down. There's no hope they're going to escape. Catch-up generally stops anyone from doing it, but the more they fight, the quicker we rejoin the fray. Liam... Oh, I thought Liam had saved that. Liam got out very wide and got it stopped, and then couldn't make the next bit. I think it might have been a bit of lag from Chris's car, because it looked like that ploughed into a tree, or ploughed into something on the outside, and it is still here. I wasn't expecting the dive. That's part of the reason why. It was a brave dive, but Impega was taking a slightly different line at the hairpin, and that got them two in trouble. Now, we are back in the draft on Gliska towards turn 1, and me and Scotty get into trouble. It's all gone horribly wrong at turn 1. Well, now we're going to have a massive fight over second, basically. Impega having been point backwards at the final corner, is now back in the second place that they fell out of. Now, the catch-up with this circuit, with the group that we have, is not going to take long before we rejoin in that lead fight, because you'll just get slowed down so much, especially with a very, very steep hill here. Just a little bit too much speed from a car behind. End up in the rear corner, it just caused mayhem at turn 1. We are going to bring everybody with us, though. Now, as I said, more cars in the group, the faster you can move forward, but the more likely you are to make mistakes or for there to be some sort of contact. Scotty with a mega run is on that very, very tight line as well to get it stopped. Will be slow on the exit, although big jump for the grey car means it's going to lose a lot of its speed. We're going to get in the tow of Liam up the hill. Yeah, you can already see Gliska's not really got all that far away. 3 wide up at the hairpin. No, and I've overdone it. I just carried too much speed. I couldn't get the back end in control, and once it was on the way off, that was it. Like once that was, I couldn't get it slowed and couldn't get it turned, and we just ran out of grip. Oh. It was tantalisingly close to being an epic save. Unfortunately, it was not. That does probably put my chances of a good finish rather out of the window. However, you never know. It's a long lap around here. It's a long lap, a lot can go on. There's a very big group of cars. They are going to be fighting. Now, I have some kind of slipstream friends in the form of the cars ahead of us, which is quite nice. We're going to need it. If we're going to stand a chance of catching up, we're going to need to work together. We're going to need some slipstream. I mean, it's a very, very tall order on this lap, but we'll give it a go. We'll give it a damn good try here. Okay, one car's ended up in the wall, in the trees, in the houses. That puts us to 10th. How far can we climb before the end of the race? If they go side by side everywhere, let's go positive. I'm gonna go for 5th. That's what we're aiming for here. 5th place by the end of this lap. We can see the leader at the moment, which is much better than it was. We've got no slipstream from Stevie's car. Thank you, game. I really appreciate that one. We were going to need that. We're going to need... Is it Stevie or is it Hyper? I don't know, actually. It's Hyper that's ahead of us. It's 2 purple cars. Stevie was the one going backwards on the... what's it called? Now, if we were going to catch, we didn't need this. This is basically the worst possible outcome, is get stuck fighting for the whole... I say that. Entertainment-wise, fantastic. However, actual track position-wise, less so. Less so, indeed. Now, don't lose the back end through here. Just fight the car's natural urges to be an oversteery bugger. Let's go. We'll give Ninetales a push off of there because we haven't got any slipstream to go for. We're going to get a push from one of the purple cars. Now, can we get this right? Stevie is not stopping for that corner. Stevie made the corner, then had to run wide and grab the checkpoint in the runoff area. We get huge tow up the hill. Liam went across as much as he could to try and block that one, but was not going to be enough. Now, I think our little fights here have probably cost us too much time to the lead group, which is kind of to be expected. What we really needed was 2 cars pretty much working together to get up the field, not 6 cars stuck in a battle. Because unless that lead group has a crash, which isn't impossible, we're probably not going to be able to do all that much. Don't run wide through here. Don't get the car sliding as well at that section. We've pulled a small bit of a gap to the pack behind. I've got a big oversteer through the next corner. And, oh, yeah, that gap I had, it was a lovely little gap. And then one oversteer moment killed any chances of that staying. Can we get tantalisingly close? Can we make it look like it might almost be possible? Bounce it through there. A couple of cars fell at the chicane. I don't know what they did. We're gonna be in watching distance, but it's not gonna be enough for us as we head around the penultimate corner. And I chase the car across the road again. I have a horrible feeling Ninetales might well get a good run on us here. Gonna have to go the long way round into the final corner. We will not make it easy if we can help it. We'll try and do a little bit extra sneaky curb boost on the outside. I don't think Ninetales is close enough to get a draft. They bang doors behind. I think Liam might have actually got that position from Ninetales there. Indeed, Liam got the 7th place. Impega took the victory from Danger Man and Gliska. They're covered by a very, very small margin. Chris in 4th. Just ahead of Scotty. Yeah, we had a big old drag race to the finish line. Hyper gets fastest lap down in 10th. Those cars are very nice to drive. They're a bit oversteery and I overdrove them in a couple of places. I'm annoyed I fell off the track. That's on me. Yeah, they're fun little cars. I wish. Would have been perhaps more fun if they'd been in compact and, you know, more that level of performance. But as they are, pretty good. Do cost 1.2 million or 900,000 if you do the heist. A bit expensive, really, but there we go. That is going to be it for this video. Of course, as ever, thank you all very much for watching, and thank you to Scotty for building this wonderful circuit. Shall be it for today, though. Until next time, goodbye.